Moms and dads, if you're a parent who has tried every possible way to help your child with their health issues, but nothing seems to offer long-term, lasting results, well then stick around, because we know at Pinnacle Chiropractic, watching your child suffer from chronic inflammation, gut problems, sensory overload, and mood swings can be emotionally draining. And so is taking them to specialist after specialist and trying diet change after diet change. Many parents feel like they're left putting all these separate pieces together on their own instead of finding one doctor or provider who can link all of these challenges together and make sense of things. But don't worry, because there is good news, and a lot of it has to deal with the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is one of the most key overlooked players, and it coordinates many of the processes linked to these symptoms that I mentioned above. So supporting its function could lead to better regulation of your child's nervous system, better digestive motility, improved immunity, social and emotional regulation that improves, and much more. In this video, we're going to specifically address parents looking for lasting improvements in conditions that are often considered independent, but are actually all linked together by the autonomic nervous system. And that autonomic nervous system is everything that your nervous system does automatically without you even thinking about it. So in this video, we're going to discover safe, non-invasive techniques to help activate and stimulate the vagus nerve and unlock your child's true health potential. And if you are a parent who feels dismissed or stuck in this endless merry-go-round of drugs, diet changes, and detoxes, hoping to address your child's chronic symptoms, stick around, because our goal in this video is to empower you with nervous system focused solutions that address the real root cause of these challenges head on. So let's go ahead and dive into how optimizing the vagus nerve could resolve many of your children's health struggles. So I'm going to go over ways to stimulate this essential part of the nervous system, plus give you an idea of how specialized chiropractic care is going to detect and address vagus nerve dysfunction without drugs or surgery. So first, let's understand the anatomy and the function of the vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve serves an important communication pathway between the brain and the rest of the organs that are vital for development and really health, and especially the hearts and the lungs. We're talking about the gut, the immune system, motor tone and coordination, the endocrine system, so that's a lot of your hormone production, and our social emotional regulation centers. Excuse me. So nicknamed, the vagus nerve is also nicknamed the watering nerve, or it's also called the great protector, because this is an essential nerve that coordinates activation of what is known as the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and restore and digest. And essentially, it's initiating the body's health and restoration rebuilding capacity. So that is really what the vagus nerve does. And that is what the parasympathetic side of things is. So the vagus nerve branches from the brainstem, this upper neck region, and makes its way down through the neck, deep into the thorax, into the abdomen, which is what makes it so susceptible to physical injury of the neck during the birth process specifically, as well as inflammation of the gut and the digestive system. So all these things can really be damaged via those three ports, whether it's birth trauma on the neck, using 50 pounds or more of force on that neck to pull baby out, damage to the gut, or even thoracic trauma, so mid-back trauma. Now, let's break this down even a little bit further as far as the vagus nerve dysfunction. So vagus nerve dysfunction can have a significant impact on kids' health. So it disrupts the brain's communication with key organs and basic health functions. And that leads to disruptions with digestive motility, absorption, and elimination, and can contribute to things like colic, constipation, eczema, and so much more. So along with suppressing the immune system function, and which leaves the body constantly stuck in this pro-inflammatory state, it leaves the child, in essence, constantly sick and congested. We also know now that the dysfunction of the vagus nerve alters motor tone and coordination, and endocrine function, and the balance of neurotransmitters, which are neurochemicals that essentially control how we act, how we live, everything. And me having that brain fart right there for a moment, that's a neurotransmitter. I probably need to get adjusted. And thus, our child's big picture what it's going to affect is our child's social and emotional regulation. And usually it suffers because it can leave, if there's dysfunction there, it leaves them constantly wound up, constantly stressed out and anxious and misbehaving and so much more. And it can have the same effect on adults too, because we need that parasympathetic function to get us out of fight or flight. We need balance between the two of those systems, essentially. So what really damages or disrupts the vagus nerve is stress hormones, so cortisol, and constant tension from high stress. For an example, is a high stress complicated pregnancy that can really increase stress and inflammation in babies and young children, and it can last for years if it goes unaddressed. And that's really what we see here, is that it starts with birth trauma, which is caused by interventions that can physically strain that delicate brainstem and neck area up here in the top, which is where the vagus nerve is housed. And that contributes to dysfunction early on in life. You'll hear us talk about birth trauma all the time. It's where it all starts. And then pediatricians typically say, oh, they'll grow out of it. But what happens is that tension just grows into something else. It goes from colic to ADHD to depression to so on and so on. So really, lastly, the vagus nerve is sensitive to things like frequent antibiotics and toxic exposures, and also nutrition gaps. So all those things can really exhaust your nervous system reserves, and then create this cumulative burden that creates a negative feedback loop or a negative cycle of dysfunctions. And the symptoms that are usually common seen with vagus nerve dysfunction is colic, reflux, chronic ear infections, eczema, constipation, SPD. All of those suggest that there is a vagus nerve function problem, essentially. Now, how do you find vagus nerve dysfunction in your child is really something I'll talk about in just a second, because there is a solution that exists that helps you map vagal tone and will help us, really, it helps us every day here, create a targeted and personalized plan to help stimulate and support everyone, not only children's vagus nerves, but everyone's vagus nerve here at Pinnacle. And that tool that we use here at Pinnacle is called heart rate variability, or HRV, and it helps us find out whether or not you or your child is, their vagus nerve is functioning properly, really. Are you more in a fight or flight state, or are you more in a parasympathetic state? And it can really be done in as little as 3 minutes, and it helps us build an exact blueprint for you or your child's neurological restoration care plan. And it helps determine exactly what frequency type of chiropractic you need, what kind of chiropractic adjustments are needed in order to help stimulate and activate that vagus nerve and get parasympathetic function turned back on, and help you and your children start healing once again, just like your body was intended to do. So while there are many natural ways to stimulate the vagus nerve and stimulate its function, such as deep breathing, meditation, being outside in nature, addressing your gut immune inflammation issues, nothing quite provides as potent as a response as direct plus restoration of the vagus nerve and nervous system as neurologically focused chiropractic adjustments. Nothing else does it just quite as good as it. There's a vast difference between the nervous system and the vagus nerve support and actual neurological healing. So we can support it and we can heal it. We should do both. But healing usually happens here at Pinnacle Chiropractic. In order to fully address vagus nerve dysfunction and to get to the deeper root and deeper causes of chronic health challenges in kids, we've got to get the vagus nerve back online with more potent and direct stimulation via these specialized chiropractic adjustments and care plans. So to go ahead to learn more, go and click the link below. We can't wait to help you. Send this to anyone that is struggling with kiddos, because we want to help you live a better life. We know how much struggling kids affect their lives around of those people around them, their parents, their friends. So let's help you guys today. Come on in, schedule an appointment.